Alrighty guys, welcome back to RoadCraft. We have got new equipment in. We got our new crawler dump, which I've also found is really good for transporting supplies and stuff if you happen to have a crane rolling around. And for some reason the parking brake on that crane has broken. Don't ask me why, but there it goes. Anyways, we got all of our equipment parked and out here in the ginormous parking lot. As you can see here, we've got our semi. And yes, the loading of our equipment doesn't look that good, but he also had to come over some pretty hilly, well, you know, terrain, which probably knocked some of that stuff loose. Anyways, another load of equipment here for us, so let's hop into the crane and get our equipment off here. Once we get our equipment off, I do have a objective that we need to finish off. We'll take a look at which one we're going to do. I think we need to restore power to a certain area, so we gotta take a look here and see what else we got going on. Let's see, we gotta get our toggle. Let's get our crane up and at him. There we go. Hey, I think we're gonna unload both pieces of equipment at the same time. That works. There we go. Alright, now we just need to get this piece of equipment moved into the upright position. There we go. Not the cleanest job I've ever done, but you know what? That's okay. So that's another reason why we built this ginormous parking lot here that allows us to be able to get a lot of equipment moved in and out with a pretty good amount of success, which is nice. We're going to get this crane parked over here inside of our area. There we go. And now we got our new rescue, which I have to say looks really good. It's got the bull bar, it's got a little bit more improved suspension, it looks like, so it looks really, really nice. So we got this brand new piece. It feels like it has no more horsepower as well, so that's also kind of nice. We get our crane truck here. Get it all lined up. And let's take a look at what objectives we got, as now we have a good portion of new vehicles available for us to work with. Well, so let me set the parking brake. Alright, let's take a look at objectives that we have. We got steel pipes factory, so we got a valve that we need to replace. We got a pipe that we need to replace. We got another pipe we need to replace, so 3 pipes in total, and I believe our pipes are located over here is what we got going on. So we have that to complete. We're not doing that today, but that is an objective that we need to work on. Looking at the side, we need to bring steel beams to the base. That's going to get us 1300 wards, etc. So steel beam right over here, so we can drive over there, and I think we got some other stuff that's set up there. I think we also need to, for this objective here, what else do we need here? We need to infrastructure. We need to get let's see, bring rubble in appropriate color, blah blah blah. So obviously we need to do the pipes, but we also need to get our electricity connected. So that's that objective right there. So we'll go ahead and get that, but we should be able to get our power from here to here without a whole lot of work, I would imagine. But let's see here what we got over in this area. We got a nice little track here that we can kind of follow, and that should get us there. We could also follow around here, kind of go across. That would also work, but I think we got our vehicle right over here that we can use to do that. So let's grab our crane, as we also need to be able to start working on getting some steel beams made, so we can use this guy to start loading up some garbage steel and be able to use that at the factory to hopefully begin making some more beams that we can deliver to our Highlands base. Looks like we got 2 steel beams at the exact moment, It looks like we have cleared out everything over here. Okay, good to know. So we will need to load up and bring over more steel debris and metal debris to be able to make steel over here. Alrighty. That's good to know. So we will work on loading up and bringing stuff over here so that we can accomplish that goal. Take a look here. Doesn't look like there's anything shining over here, but we do need to get our power connected over there. Let's get this thing started up. There we go. We're going to try and run a cable along this side, and then there's like a little miniature road, so we're going to see how this works. This vehicle works pretty good, so I don't think we're going to have a ton of issue, hopefully, but we're going to find out here. We're going to go right over here if we can, so that way we're not totally in our little road out. And luckily we're perfectly within the power area, so we can run a cable. Let's see here, we run in power. Yes, we are. We got power coming with us. Very good. That is what we want to see. So we're going to hope that this works. We haven't used this trail. We looks like we got a tree kind of in the way, but we haven't used this area for anything. So if we can get this run over to the pipes facility, that will be one job done. Should be very, very helpful. Yeah, look at that. So, yeah, we have not used this at all, so getting this torn up is not really much of a problem. We got low gear running here. And we got some trees and stuff in the way, so this can make things interesting, but I think we can make it through without a whole lot of issue. This thing's pretty good about moving along. And I haven't had a whole lot of issues with it getting stuck. If need be, we can get something to help it out, but yeah, it seems like we've had a pretty good track record with this thing moving. Yeah, it might be a little slippy slidey now. Not too bad though. We got a tree there in the way, so we're going to want to go to the side there ever so slightly. Then we can whip around here. There we go. Got a nice little sand quarry right there. Yep, this piece of equipment is an absolute beast. It just goes through about everything, which is nice. So if you need to get anywhere, yeah, you can take this and it'll probably basically get you anywhere you need to be. One thing that I'd have to consider is obviously we're laying cable, so I'm wondering if the tautness of the cable helps keep this thing moving. That would be one of my guesses, potentially. Lots of trees down, that's for sure. This hurricane weather that we're still starting to face been pretty serious for the area. We need to get over into the port area and clean up that part of the town and whatnot. There's a lot of debris, destroyed cars and stuff there too. But all in good time. We had to get our base set up and get resources moving. And getting some power over to the plant will definitely help us get a little bit closer to where we need to be. Yeah, I have not used this track at all, so yeah, just if we're laying power line here, we don't have to use this again, more than likely. I guess we'd always come through and pave over it, but we have not used this track for anything, so I think it'll be fine. Gotta check the map and make sure we're heading in the right direction, and we are heading in the right direction. Perfect. I figured we were, but you just gotta make sure, because sometimes you bypass stuff. Ooh, this thing's got a nice horn on it as well. One thing that I would like is the option to probably switch on headlights and stuff like that. Maybe some more customization options would be nice in future, but all things considered, this game really, really well built right off the bat. I mean, the equipment performs exactly as you would think it would. Very tough to drive, tough to work. So we're really, really liking it. So we are planning on building a road right through here. So if we can go straight here. I think we've cleared out some roots and other things already, so that's already part of our objective is done. So that's nice. We got a bunch of little trees and stuff that kind of sunk into the ground there. That's interesting. But yeah, at some point we'll kind of build a road through this area, I believe. So that's one thing we'll definitely do. So that would require a good amount of sand and planting, so we will definitely work on that in the future. We have gotten power to the plant. It is now powered. So that is one little piece of our objective taken care of. We'll just park the vehicle right over here for the moment. We'll know exactly where it is. But yeah, that is one of our objectives right there, taken care of. What else do we need? We need to store up to 6 beams. So that's steel beams, so we got to do that. We also got to do infrastructure, replace pipes, and deliver object. Oh yeah, that's going to be... I think I know what that is. That's going to be... Yeah, that's what we're delivering. Okay. Good to know. So we got that we need to continue to work on. What we need to do is get some steel beams working here. So what I'm going to do is... What do we have around here? Looks like we got some options right over here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go get Big Boy here. Get the Big Boy running down the hill. I think we can go around this direction right here. We'll have to empty it of sand, which we can do. I'm sure there's somewhere that is low water that we need to work on. So we'll take this over to the steel plant, and what we can do is we can load this up with the steel and metal items, and we can dump that. That'll work out good. But yeah, using this to do that works really, really good. Yeah, we're gonna go dump this sand over here in the swamp, because we're gonna be working at some point to build a better road straight across. There we go. Now we got a pile of sand done right there. That'll work out good for us once we get that project done. But since we already had it on board, might as well use it. Alright. Where's my big pedal? Where's my big puddle? Puddle? Where is my big pile of metal scraps? No, it's around here somewhere. I think it's actually up here at this location. Alright, we should be able to reach over here, I think. Nope, we're going to need to be a little bit closer to our dump here. Alright, there we go. Back it up, and hit the park. Alright, we got stuff loaded up. Go ahead and put this vehicle into low mode at the moment, just so that we're not messing it up. Also, by the way, you don't want to fill this thing with sand while it is loaded up with debris. Not one of the best ideas, at least not if you want the stuff to stay in it. That's kind of important. Alright, so now we got ourselves some metal product that we can take over here and sell. Now, not necessarily sell, but use. Alright, feels like we can let it go full speed here. Alright, we now have 6 steel beams manufactured. That worked out really, really good. I'm gonna go ahead and set this vehicle right here. We're gonna go grab our crane truck here. So we've got a bit of a awkward load, but it should work just fine. But yeah, there's plenty of metal for us to then come back in, use any of the steel beams that we need. We can also sell any excess steel beams if we want to. We can also jump over little jumps like that and look really cool while we do it. And I love the cinematic cam, I gotta say. And luckily it's really easy to actually drive with the cinematic cam on, which is nice. A little bumpy at times, but still a lot of fun to watch from the cinematic angle. Like it. There we go. We've got ourselves a ton of steel beams that we can take into, I believe, where we need to take them. We need to put them in storage. So we're going to take them back to the base here. We'll go ahead and take out all of our steel beams here, let them all populate. There they are. We're going to try and load them up here. I think this should be doable. I think we're going to want our want those for sure. Want this a little bit closer. And also, I forgot, when you switch between vehicles, it does end up detaching the thing you were just working on, which is rather annoying, but what can you do? Alright, we need to rotate and drop. Sweet. Oh, come on. Okay, we need a little more space here. Alright, hopefully that's enough space to operate here. Now get up here. There we go. Right, now rotate. We need at least 6 steel beams is what we're looking for here. So we're going to try and get those in here. Rotate. Ah, there we go. So with a little bit of work, we were able to figure out who is going to be the problem child of the steel beams. And luckily, now we can get this all nice and rearranged. We should be able to deliver all of these to where they need to go. Keep on going, to the side, to the side. There we go. Alright. Steel beam has been placed. Alright, so what we need to do here is we need objectives. We need to have 6 steel beams in place, and then on the side we need to have 5 steel beams to the Haulin base. So, that's where we need to go. Alrighty. So let's roll. Yep, get everything. Oh, there we go. Everything should be nicely sorted out now. And should not be leaving. So we got our steel beams. Now we can take them and deliver. And we will have accomplished quite a few objectives, which will be nice. We're going to go straight on through the swamp here. Shouldn't be too much of an issue for this vehicle, hopefully. We're going to find out. Maybe a little bumpy. But other than that, should be pretty good. Yeah, all those steel beams have sorted themselves out quite nicely in the bed and can't come out, so that is very, very helpful. Yeah, this thing's an absolute beast. I love this vehicle. This thing helps you out so much. I think probably the most OP vehicle though is probably the crane truck, honestly, because that thing just does so much. which is super helpful because you can do regular crane things, and then you can also store. So I mean, it saves you on so much time being able to have that thing. It moves a lot faster than the other cranes too, so that also helps. But yeah, that's definitely one of the best vehicles to have is the crane truck. But also, this vehicle right here, love it. It can get you almost anywhere, which is really, really nice. Alright, Haulin's base. This will be our delivery of steel beams to the steel base. Also, that's going to be storing steel beams as well. So we should have enough to finish our objective here, and also finish our objective for the pipes place. So that should work out for us pretty good, I would imagine. We're going to find out, but I think this is going to take care of what we need to. Ooh, and as we come through, we can see some resources here. We got pipes and steel beams and other objects that we can use. Good to know. That will be helpful. And I believe our base is right up this little dirt road here. But yeah, this thing does an incredible job carrying any sort of cargo, so great vehicle, definitely recommended. Alrighty, we should have, where do we store stuff? So it's either going to be here, we're going to find out. If we're just going to drive through here, should just be the garage. Oop, we did, okay, there's part of our objective that we have delivered. Excuse me. Alright, so now we got steel beams in storage. Let's see, so side, we do have a road now. Let's see, last request from the locals is to set up a route from the Haulin's base garage, which is this right here, to the transit point. Transit point what? What is the transit point? Is it right here? Last request to set up a route. Technically, we can do that without doing that. I mean, we could lay a road there, I suppose. That would give us some money. Okay, well, that's something we might have to do then. That'd be good. Okay, location, pour sand. Alrighty. Well, that's something we'll have to do later, but I think we have gotten a one-side objective, and now we have deliver objects and do pipe replacement, so grab the pipes and bring them back over here and get those all redone. And then we got 7 steel beams there, so that should really get us to where we need to be on that pretty quick. And it looks like we'll be stored. Oh, and we're also going to get 3 pieces of concrete slabs. That'll be nice. But yeah, so road quest right here, which we already got that partially filled in with sand, so we can get that taken care of. Okay, so that's going to get us some rewards, so that'll be good. We also need to finish working on this bridge project right here as well, which will be helpful to be able to connect the Port Redwood Bay to the Western Tower, and along with Costilia, or Costili. Anyways, oh, and that's where we got to go. We got to get that convoy all the way to the transit point. Good night. That's going to be a run, but yeah, we got to get this taken care of here first. So that's going to be a logistical nightmare to get that through there to make sure everything's cleared to get to the transit point. So that's going to be fun. What else do we have? We got River Base, Northern Tunnel, Sand Quarry, so everything in there. Okay. Anyways, we've got a lot of work to do, guys. Lots to do on this map, and also financial opportunities for us as well, as we work to get all of these facilities up and running and getting our new base, which I gotta say, I love the parking lot. This thing is so nice to be able to use that to get more jobs done. So anyways, that's going to be it for us today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Love this game. There's so much here, and there's just so many side options to be able to do things with, which is just incredible. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. If you want to see these videos early, you can always become a member of Gamer Plus. And thank you for watching. We'll see you guys here next time. Bye-bye. I'm talking about